Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. We're here live. Gosh, it's been like another month, maybe even a little bit more. It's been way too long since we've done this. Got to not let that happen. We cannot let so much time go by. I've been a little busy. I've been very busy. Yeah, it's been a busy time, and it continues to be so. Mark Covington, welcome in. I'm doing very wonderfully today. I'm blessed, my friend. Thank you for being there. Thank you for everybody for jumping in. If you're watching the replay, you may be like, dang it, I missed the giveaway. Well, yes, you missed this one, but there will be more because we are, I think, the only vinyl YouTube channel out there, pretty sure, that gives away turntables, records, accessories, cassettes, cassette players, whatever, everything under the sun. We give it away in mass quantities too in the past. Today's is going to be a very interesting product. Old Radios, welcome in. Because it is a product we just reviewed, the HYM, what is that thing called? Lumi? Yeah, so I'm going to do a little googly search here. So this was the HYM Lumi turntable, which this morning I boxed it all up. So it is ready to be shipped out, and we are going to do that this week because that is the product we're giving away. By the way, I didn't mention it in the show. The one I reviewed was the walnut one, and apparently is a dark walnut one as well. So again, retail price on the HYM Originals website, $399.20, which is arguably a pretty high price. $499 is the MSRP, but it's on sale according to their website for $100 off of that, essentially. So we'll go through the features, talk about how, one of you guys or gals can win that, the rules, all that good stuff. So welcome in, everybody. Samuel, welcome in. Michael, welcome in. Barry, Layla, Boston's Fun Time. Mark, everybody, welcome in. Just so glad to have you here. Jared, and everybody else, if I missed you, definitely give me a shout out in the, or give yourself a shout out in the comments section. Definitely love to hear from you there. And we're going to have fun too. We're not just going to do the giveaway. We're going to do some fun stuff. I'm going to give you some updates, let you know how things are going. Yeah, we got pre-rolls. I apologize. YouTube and their pre-rolls, right? They do happen. Old Radio's got 2 turntables today. Windy 707, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody, one and all. Chris McDonald Sr., good afternoon. Went to a swap meet, Old Radio says. Cool. What did you pick up? So the turntables have been flowing in the door here. Absolutely a lot to review, and I'm very, very excited. And that wasn't enough. I went out and bought another one a couple of days ago. I'm like, what? Like I always tease anybody sees me, coming into the house with another record player. They're like, "What are you doing?" And it's like, I always tease them. I'm like, "Well, I decided to get into vinyl and pick this one up." So, but this turntable is the one that we are going to be that I picked up the other day that we're going to be reviewing in the next week or two. Is an interesting one because we have reviewed it and we haven't. This is a version that has never seen the light of day on this channel. It's something that people have been asking for, telling me about, and so I'm excited to check it out. It's a really cool turntable. And then just today, I reviewed another turntable. It's going to be the next regular Record-ology show. So I spent the morning and the early afternoon working on that, and it's a cool one. It's a really cool. It's another exclusive edition, and I'll tell you on the show how you can obtain this special edition. It's a fantastic turntable, DJ style turntable, because belt driven. So there's a couple of hints for you there. Got an Elmo 16 millimeter projector that needs new rubber rollers, says Old Radios. Michael says, nice to be here. How's everyone doing on this fine Sunday? I'm doing wonderful. I'm blessed. Hope everybody else is as well. Hi from the UK, says Sarah. Welcome in. Old Radio's got an SL 2000. Wow, nice. Excellent. Craig in Ohio. On my break at work, have I won a prize? Well, we won a prize because you're here, and that's the biggest thing. We will be doing a giveaway. There will be one lucky winner. Could be you, could be somebody else, and I will explain the rules of how that will work and the process. And then once the winner has been chosen in today's live video, we will ship it out and it'll head towards you. And then hopefully there's no mix-ups in shipping and it'll arrive in one piece and all that stuff. That will be ideal. Chris has a Marantz 6300. Excellent. Excellent. Right now, my top 3 turntables that I'm running right now, because I can't just have one. I've got the SLBL5 changer up there. Got to have the changer. Right now, I'm running a Grado Gold Prestige 2 on there with a floating head shell and stock rubber mat. It's a beauty. Running into a Crosley P10 preamp that does the job. It's kind of a utility preamp. I do have other ones available that I could upgrade it, but there's not really a need to. Also, I've got the Technics SLBD22 over here, semi-auto, and I'm having that same issue that I've had with it in the past, where it just the sound I start having tons of inner groove distortion after I've listened to a couple of records. It's like it builds up. And I've tried different preamps. I've tried different cables. This is the one that the tone arm from the previous owner was snapped right at the gimbal. Had to be reattached with some reattached with some Loctite or some kind of compound. And he was a jeweler, and he's like, I aligned this thing perfectly. And it can sound wonderful, but then sometimes the sound gets a little wonky, and I just wonder. P-mount cartridge. But it's got a very low profile. My desk has part of it has a shelf that extends over the top. And so it's really nice because it fits under that shelf very, very nicely. Not all turntables fit in that small of a space. So I've got that down there right now. It never had a dust cover, so it's got a soft dust cover on it now. And then on my left-hand side, I've got the Orbit. Essentially, it's a custom at this point because I started with a U-turn basic, but then I upgraded to the frosted acrylic bladder mat, the cueing lever. It does have the stock cartridge on it, the Audio-Technica 1891. I think it's an 1891 on there, which is great. And then and the Technics is running through a 2 preamp, and so is the U-turn. And then I've got the sub down there, and it's all mechanically switched like usual. So those are my top ones. However, the Technics SLBD22 is on the chopping block again because it's getting kind of annoying having that little bit of an issue. Let me get caught up on comments here. Rollers in the projector have to have turn belts in. Sounds like a project. Second Chance Junkyard, welcome in. Some Svid has a 1919 Cliftophone. That sounds awesome. That's really cool. Old radios restored by Gerard RC 80 for 78 RPM use. That's awesome. I've heard of people doing mods like that. Craig in Ohio says, Rats, my break is over at 320. Oh man, I am so sorry you're not going to be here for it. Maybe you can sneak away to no, don't take any bad advice. You better pay attention to work. It's not worth missing work over. But glad you could join us for a little bit, and hope you're able to participate in a giveaway down the road. Old radio, we do a lot of them, so just stay tuned. We'll do more. I've got so many things that need to be donated. I've got so many things. And this thing is a beast we're giving away today. This is a beast. We're going to be shipping at UPS because UPS has proven to be the cheapest shipping provider by a long shot domestically. So we're going to be going with that. And they take care of the packages too, from my experience. So we're going to go for that. Put new motor mounts in too. Awesome. Hello from Columbus, Ohio, says David. Welcome in. Spiral out. Keep going. Welcome in. I have an Ion USB turntable. Yep, those are cool. Reviewed them. Those will get the job done for sure. Old radio's about a preamp for 78s. It has that GERPX 40 cart. It sounds awesome. So does it have so it's for 78s, then I assume it doesn't have the RIAA EQ in it. STP World, my dad has a high-end AJ. That's cool. The Dream Times, welcome in. Sarah says, I have a 1963 Philadelphia that still works. That's cool. That's really cool. STP World also says my dad has a high-end Audio-Technica from the 80s. And Mitsubishi from 82. That's awesome. David has a Marantz 6150. Turntable from the 50s. A nice one. That's excellent. Mono. Excellent. Clay, welcome in. Good afternoon. How are you doing? I've been enjoying the videos lately. Thank you. I appreciate you being there. Second Chance Junkyard. what can you do to a turntable that outputs too hot to an external amplifier? So if it has, that's a good question, actually. You can put a headphone amplifier in between, and you may be saying amplifier. I actually do that in the show that I filmed today that I'll be posting hopefully tomorrow. It allows you not only to amplify, but also allows you to de-amplify. So in my case, my digital audio recorder is the Zoom H2N handy recorder that I do the lossless sound recordings for when we're doing the sound test direct feed. But the problem is it has a tendency to, the line input isn't a real line input. It's a mic level input. So if you hook it up to the back of a turntable, it's just blasted. It's screamingly oversaturated. So I have to put a headphone amplifier in the middle to bring it down. So I would say you may consider that. Hey, super chat from Mark. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. Definitely will help support the channel and bringing you more content. Mark, I appreciate it. You're one cool cat. I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome. So thankful to have everybody there. And we're just going to have fun. We're going to shoot the breeze for a bit, and we're going to give away a record player. I'm going to get you all amped up on the record player. I'm going to tell you all about it. If you haven't seen the video already, check out our Lumi, HYM Lumi turntable review. And even though I've said this a million times, it's unlike anything I've ever seen before. David says, recommended cartridge. I have a Pickering currently. So yeah, I've never had a Pickering that I know of. Maybe I have. I've had a vintage, sure, but most of the cartridges I run are contemporary. So here's the way I break it down. And it's been a way since I've said this. So hopefully those of you that have been around for years won't be too annoyed by hearing this again. So my main 3 cartridge brands that I use are Audio-Technica, Grado, and Ortophone. And I use others. Mostly, I'd say 80% of what I listen to is Audio-Technica. Generally speaking, they each have a sound profile, and regardless of what model you get. Now, there's some variants, of course. Generally speaking, if you want a very neutral cartridge that doesn't really color the sound very much, it's very transparent, I would say go Audio-Technica. That goes for everything from the 3600 to cheapo all the way up. Now this is an entry-level channel, so I haven't played around with, $1,500 cartridges. The most expensive cartridge I own or have ever had is this guy right here, the Grado Gold Prestige 2, which is like a 350, 340, something in that neighborhood. That's as high as I've ever gotten. Keep in mind, my scale is on the low end, which I think is fine. I don't feel the need to go beyond that. To me, that's overkill. In fact, putting a stylus on that is going to be very expensive. That's a beauty of cheap cartridges. It's cheap to buy, cheap to maintain. You buy high-end Styli cartridges, you're buying high-end Styli too, when they need to be replaced. So, but generally speaking, Audio-Technica's, to me, to my ear, and to others, I've kind of heard these same opinions, sounds very neutral. So if you like that, some of their cartridges have some warmth to them, a little bit more richness, and I think that's fine because that's where I tend to prefer. And that leads me to Grado cartridges, and I've heard various of the Prestige line. I have not heard others, but the Prestige line, the blue, the black, the green, the gold, the silver, all of those are very warm sounding. And so if you like, the Gold Prestige is like the 3rd tier, I think, or 4th tier. So there's a black, which is a baseline, sound just as warm as this, maybe lacking in a little bit of detail, but unless you're doing a side-by-side, you would never tell the difference. So $100 Grado Black is a fantastic cartridge. But yeah, the blue, the green, all of them, they just sound very, very warm. Ortophone, and they look cool. I love Ortophone cartridges. I got my Ortophone DJ right here. Mostly got this because it looks awesome, honestly. This is an Ortophone DJ. This is 1 generation removed from what they have now. I love the fact that it is the head shell. Like, it just plugs into the 1/2-inch mount and it just goes down. It's awesome. Ortophones tend to sound cooler, perhaps more accurate, very precision, very detailed sounding. This DJ may be an exception to that because it's a conical designed for DJ use. It's got like an indestructible cantilever. all that good stuff. But I love this style of these Concord style ones. This one doesn't, you can't align it because it just plugs right into the tone arm. So you have to have an S-shaped tone arm or an angled. You have to somehow compensate for the fact that this is plugging straight into the tone arm. My other Ortophone, well, I've got an OM5E and I think an OM5. And then I've also got this Ortophone 2M mono. And this was for the playing 78s. But I snapped the cantilever off with my thumb. As you can see, it's missing there. They're pretty pricey to replace that stylus. So I held onto the cartridge without replacing the stylus. Instead, when I was putting together a system to play 78s, I took a 3600L, which is a stereo cartridge. I know that, but still works really good. To 3600L and put a fan steel aftermarket wide groove stylus on there, that green one. So this would normally be a white stylus 3600, but it was a lot cheaper than buying the stylus for that one. It sounds good. And true, it's outputting stereo on a mono record. If you want to get serious about it, you need a mono cartridge. You need no RIAA. But that's my 2 cents on cartridges. Kyle, welcome in, Old Radios. Yep. Mary says, hello from New York. Hello, Mary. Old Radio's got a Lenco B. Thanks for the hearts, by the way. That's cool. I see those flying up. That's cool. We'll do the giveaway here just in a little bit. I got a Lenco B52. I'm going to get a base for it. That's awesome. Kyle, I'm doing very well today, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Chris McDonald Sr., what are you getting for Record Store Day? I looked at the list. There's so much on there that I'm just not. I did find like 2 or 3 things. I can't think of what they are right now that I was like, okay, that would be cool if I found it. But then it's like, will the record shop that I will go to have it? I do like to pick up something for Record Store Day. I think it's fun. Last year, it was all about getting that Dolly Parton Monument Singles collection, which I did get, but not because I found it. My friend did, and he sent it to me. Steven, welcome in. STP World, I have a Kenwood integrated amp with a rare headphone pre-out in the back. That's awesome. How can I win, says David. Stay tuned. We'll go over that in just a minute. I have turntables with Pickering in them. Yeah, a lot of people use a Pickering. How are things in Florida, says Mark, where you're all at? So Orlando, and it's beautiful. It's so pretty here. It's like just gorgeous out, warm, sunny. Later part of the summer gets intense heat. Right now we're kind of in this lull where it's 82 right now, for example. But it's just so beautiful. You go outside, it's alive. Back in Denver, it was warm and sunny for like 2 months out of the year. And then you were cold and windy and brown and, just barren. It's such a different, it's so like mentally stimulating in a positive way to go outside and see the blue skies almost every day, green stuff all the time. Just animals everywhere, alligators, birds that are 4 feet high walking around, and all kinds of critters. It's just little lizards. It's just fantastic, and so many activities. Very blessed to be here. Very, very blessed. Wasn't sure. Like we went home at Christmas back to Denver, and when we did that, we weren't sure. Like, are we going to be like, oh, we miss it, and we just want to go back home? Because home is home, right? And we're both Denver natives. So when we went back home to Denver, we stepped off the plane and we're like, yeah, I can't wait till we go back home, till we fly back to Florida. We were just so blessed, and it was something we've been planning for years. So very thankful. Second Chance Junkyard says, I've tried to plug in a Victrola Eastwood signature to a Cambridge audio amplifier, but because the turntable is line out, sound comes out very harsh. Plus, isn't the Eastwood with the ceramic cartridge? And that's the problem. With any ceramic cartridge turntable, you're never going to get that smooth, warm, moving magnet cartridge sound. And you can't retrofit them onto those. You really have to get something with a magnetic cartridge. Stay tuned to tomorrow's show. Stay tuned to the giveaway because it's got a very nice Audio-Technica cartridge on it. Absolutely. Old Radio says Technics has an Empire 2000 E3. Wow. The Cliftophone has been handed down from my great-grandfather who bought it new. Wow. Clay says, but recently I've gotten also into cassette. Yeah, absolutely. We love that. I have a Naxa AM/FM CD player with a stereo cassette deck that's portable. Also an on-brand portable shoebox. Yeah, I had that. Those are fun. That little on one is cool. I don't know why it doesn't make good recordings really, but it's fun. It's really fun. Yeah, if you're interested in cassette players, check out our recent reviews of the We Are Rewind and the FIO, FIIO. Both make a fantastic little port. I'm looking at it because that's on the bookshelf right now. Two beautiful playback devices. One of them records, but it's DC bias recording. So DC bias, which is on most modern recorders, is why most modern recorders can't make good tape recordings. You have to have those vintage ones with the AC bias circuit, and they make much better ones. But yeah, those are cool. Playback wise, it's not too hard to find a good playback machine. But these have copper flywheels. They're rechargeable batteries. One has Bluetooth. It's really cool. But that's awesome. I'm glad to always come across a fellow cassette fan. Absolutely. Kyle, love my Audio Technica, and I bet you do because those are great. Old Radios has a bad stylus on that Empire. I've got an Empire brand cartridge that needs a stylus. Shown this a couple of times too. This is ID50, I think. This came off the SLBD5. What is this? ID50. It's got a very cool kind of yellow crystal clear cartridge or head shell assembly, but it's missing. So look at the size of that generator. It's a beast. It's quite a barrel. I want to give that a listen, and you can find them. The stylus replacement isn't that cheap. That's like $25, so I haven't quite bought that yet. I need to. Michael says, I'm a huge fan of Audio Technica cartridge. Lots of choices. Yeah, there's so many choices, which I love. I use Grado strictly for my rock music. It's the best for it. That's awesome. That's cool. Kyle says, I have the Walmart one of the Audio Technica. Stay tuned. Stay tuned about that. I might be learning more about those, and so will folks that don't know. But yeah, that's cool. That's a good one. Let me get through comments, and we'll go into the contest, and we'll talk about the rules, the procedure for winning, and all that good stuff, and then we'll give it away. Man, I'm behind on comments. Layla says, what's your favorite place to buy records? Also, do you prefer new or secondhand records? It depends. I like to buy new records. They're expensive, but I do love new records. There's some great things that come out, especially like the Disney stuff, soundtracks, new issues of things. I collect Patsy Cline music. So when there's new releases of that, I will, go for that for sure. Record store day, new releases are fun sometimes. If I can sift through the millions of titles that don't register with me to find something I care about. But otherwise, I get a lot of records used. I like used record hunting. I've got no problem with it. I love vintage records. I love vintage pressings. In the case of Patsy Cline, for example, I would prefer a vintage 60s or late 50s Decca pressing to a modern, UME or even an 80s or 70s MCA pressing. That's just me. I prefer the sound process. The sound is very warm and tonally rich on an old vintage Decca. And I think it's fun, getting a hold of something that has history to it and has good sound as well, because you're kind of winning on both fronts. But I like to buy junk records too. I have, lots of junk records just for the fun of it. They may be scratched, that may have the cover maybe in bad condition. So I like all records. It doesn't matter where they come from. I don't buy a lot from like antique stores just because the prices are usually really bad at antique stores. I don't buy a ton of new records, again, because it can be cost prohibitive. It just depends. You know what I mean? It has to be a good value. Speaking of Patsy Cline, I won't go down that road anymore because I start going down that road. It's one of my distraction tracks. Start going down Glenn Miller, start talking about big band music. Anyway, I found a Grail record that I've been looking for. It hasn't arrived yet, so it's got to arrive, but it is a Grail Patsy Cline record that I have been looking for. Somebody in a live said they were going to be sending me a 78, which was a previous Grail. It hasn't arrived yet. If you're still listening, I'm still interested. Got the PO box in the description, I think, or in the about tab. But outside of that, this record that I ordered is it was an eBay win, and it's fantastic. I can't wait for it. Yeah. Pickering is an excellent cartridge. Ortophon equipment. Interesting. Nor Ortophons here. I'm thinking about switching to AT styluses. Give it a shot. They're well built. And what's crazy is the 3600. People would assume, oh, it must be a crappy cartridge because it's cheap. It's only 25. You can get it like online for like 15 bucks. Thanks for all the hearts, by the way. Whoever's doing that, I appreciate it. I'm sure the algorithm's like, yes. Serve it out to more people. I want more people to have a chance to win here. But it's just such a great cartridge. It sounds great. What are you getting for Record Store Day? I'm not sure yet, Chris. Still trying to figure that out. Mark says record changers, I think, are best for playing double albums with sides 1 and 4 on the first record, sides 2 and 3 on second record. What do you think? Yeah, absolutely. You get like an album where they're designed to be stacked. Throw them on there. It's a whole day of music. I've got that. You can put 6 LPs on here, and then you can flip it and play the other side, and it's great. It's automatic music. Playlist. Build your own playlist. Stack some records. I love a changer. And when I found a Technics changer, I was like, I can't believe this. Todd, welcome from California. Happy that you are here, my friend. Chris says, I'm looking for a Tesla reel-to-reel. Tesla reel-to-reel. I've never heard of that. Sounds awesome. Entry requirements, asks David. About to go into that as soon as I get caught up on comments. Grabbing some new old punk albums on Record Store Days, says Michael. That's awesome. Jared says, I'm considering an Ortophone blue, but now I'm considering Grado green or red. Too many options. Yeah, look at the Ortophones. They're really good. If you want warmth, the Ortophone will sound tons warmer. Also, I will tell people that are looking at the Ortophon blue and reds, the 2M blue, 2M red, it's the same cartridge. It is the identical same cartridge. The red's $100. The blue's like $250 for the exact same cartridge. The difference is the stylus. The stylus on the red is bonded. So it's like everything here. I think, well, I don't know if that one's bonded or if that's nude, but everything pretty much else is going to be bonded. So it's a steel shank. Like the stylus is like 95% steel with a chip of diamond at the very tip. The part that actually touches the record is diamond. The rest of it is steel. With a nude, the entire shank, the entire thing coming off the cantilever is diamond. So does it make a big difference? Some people will argue yes. But it's a lot more diamond, so it's more expensive, and that's why it's more expensive. But you could literally have the same cartridge for $100 if you get the red. Or, like I said, go Ortophone. Their $100 Grado Black. I mean, go Grado. The $100 Grado Black is fantastic. Turntable giveaway, Ren. You are in time. We're about to start it. Clay, welcome in. I still want to get the Heat Waves first 2 albums on vinyl. Too Hot to Handle from 76. Central Heating from 78. Is everything with like kind of a heat theme to it with them? That's cool. 85 degrees, says Old Radios. We got 82 right here in, almost said the Mile High City. Not anymore. It's not 82 in the Mile High City. I guarantee you that. It is 82 degrees here in Central Florida, beautiful Central Florida. Ren, we're just chit-chatting, and then we're going to jump into the giveaway. Wendy says, oh, yeah, I've got an old refurbished realistic mini changer made in 69. That's awesome. What kind of turntable is being given away? It is a HYM Lumi. And if you can see the thumbnail to this video, I'm not sure if it shows a thumbnail when we're actually live, but it's the same one we reviewed, the last turntable we reviewed. So I'm going to talk about the features here in a minute too. My Pickering is gold with brush on my Marantz, 6150. Would it be wise to get an extra stylus? Sure, it always is wise to do. Stefan, welcome in. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to get caught up on these. I'm so sorry, you guys. The Eastwood has a 3600. Oh, interesting. Is a preamp switchable on that? That's a good question. Kyle says, I connected my Audio Technica to my Fender guitar amp through the aux jack. I have the Fender Mustang GTX 100 amp, and it works. That's cool. Go Heatwave, says David. Michael says, love Empire. I got to give it a listen. I really want to. Michael says, I've been using an ancient full logic JVC cassette player recorder. Honestly, I think it'll outlive me. I love the full logic cassette decks. My Yamaha KX390 is a workhorse. The glass ferrite. Actually, I learned it doesn't. Wait, does this one have a GF? No, okay, so yeah, this one doesn't. I used to think it did because it says it's got a GF head, which usually stands for glass ferrite, which would mean the head would be indestructible, never would wear down like a steel head. But somebody told me that's not true, that it's actually not a glass ferrite head. But it's a fantastic deck. This replaced a Pioneer that I had before, which was fine. It just had a couple quirks. It was a dual deck, and I wanted a single deck. Liz says, love vinyl. Excited about the upcoming record store day and hoping to nab a copy of Ian Hunter's new Defense Part 2 on red vinyl with 3 extra tracks. That sounds fun. Clay says, I purchased on vinyl the Billy Joel 52nd Street Remastered from 2021. That's awesome. Love Billy Joel, or as I like to say, Billy Joel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Billy Joel sketch from that. What's that stand-up guy's name? Billy Joel. It's hilarious. Clay says, but I do have the original CD pressing of Billy Joel's 52nd Street. That's a classic. Liz says, using a Philips 212 on my large stereo in the living room, so I'm limited with the cartridges that fit on the odd head shell. That's definitely a restriction. Mark says, do you think you may be able to come up with your own version of Monopoly? You call it Record-ology. That's an interesting idea. I'm sure that there's some company that would help us produce that. That's interesting. Clay says, I've gotten vinyl from thrift stores. I mean, we're from 2 to 5. Yeah. Dollar records are awesome. I love some of that music, which helps. You know, if you're only collecting Beatles, you know, it's going to be a more expensive journey for you. But if you're, you know, if you can jam to some Jim Neighbors, then you're in luck with the thrift store. I found some treasures there, though. I really have. Sarah says, I love the smell of old records. I have a lot of Elvis and Sgt. Pepper with the cutout dolls intact. Wow, that's hard to find. Excellent there. Yeah, love Elvis too. Love Beatles. Old records have the smell. You know what? For me, I don't really like the smell of records old records as much as I love the smell of books, like new books. Like you go to a new bookstore, smell a book before you read it. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's also probably why I have, you know, allergy problem. But yeah. Liz says, loving your shirt. Thank you very much. My wife just got this for me. A little orange bird with Spike the bee in there as well. It's beautiful. Do the full turnaround there for you. I'm very thankful for it. It's a pretty shirt. It's an eye-catching one. I love Orange Bird, my favorite Disney character probably. I love this song. And right now is Flower and Garden Festival in Epcot. So Little Orange Bird is everywhere. So thank you very much. Layla says, lots of my local charity shops sell records for £1. And once I bought one for 5 pence. Wow. Some killer deals every once in a while. Grado Black is awesome as well, says Michael. Absolutely. I'm just trying to get caught up. The Steam dropped off. I hope it didn't drop off. Oh, the Dream Times has to run. Sorry, my friend. Grado Black is awesome as well. As the stream just dropped off. I have that same Reese's mug. This is what I grab when I want it's actually my son's, but he's not here right now. So when we moved down here, this accidentally got packed. He may be putting in an appearance soon, I hope. Yeah, it's a good one. It holds a lot of water, too. I have the DCC portable cassette player. Yeah, I haven't got into DCC yet. I'd like to maybe someday. Got it back. It's about 82 degrees in Virginia. Same temperature as here. I like to review it. It looks great. Yeah, so that's the one we're giving away, Miles High. Got the Beatles White Album, first pressing, no barcode. Very cool. And no serial number. That's crazy. The non-numbered ones. Wait, were the albums numbered or just the CDs? It's sunny and 80 in the Motor City. I love Detroit. It's a fun town. Really interesting. I heard that train station downtown, or I think it was an old train station, is being renovated finally. When it was sitting vacant, man, it was like some serious backrooms vibes, especially when the sun went down. Not many people in here would have heard the 3 turntables I have. All right, try us. What are they? Michael says, I have a Von Monroe Ghost Riders in the Sky 78 promo. Wow, that's cool, dude. Ghost Riders in the Sky. Side A has an interview telling with Vaughn telling the story of how Stan Jones told the legend and how he came to write it. That's awesome. I love those promos, those radio interviews. I need more of that stuff. STP World says I have my dad's top of the line Sony cassette deck for 86. It's never been repaired. Wow. Let's roll as welcome in. Ren says the newest album I picked up recently was a near mint copy of Quiet Riot's Metal Health. Cool. Steve says would love to get a copy of Albion's new album on vinyl, but 30 pounds, about $38 and $25 to ship it. And that's just it. Man, it gets expensive, right? I left my computer in my uncle's car. I was so busy bringing things to the house I forgot. Oh, I'm sorry. Random says I paid $18 for it. Defiance Part 2. Okay. Hello from Oklahoma, Ron. Welcome in. I have Tommy with the pinball cutout still intact. It's awesome. Started buying vintage 8-tracks. I haven't bought an 8-track in a long time. I do listen to them from time to time. Scored Jim Croce. I got a name VG Plus for $1. Wow. Shirt's so Florida. Yeah, it's a very Florida shirt. It's a very bright Florida shirt. That's actually what my dad said when he saw it. It's like, that's the most Florida looking shirt you got. Mark says, oh, he's talking to somebody else. Steve says, Fredericksburg, halfway between Richmond and DC. Looking good today, Record-ology. Thank you, Inspecting Gadgets. I appreciate that. STP World, my album has a purple capital label. Okay, so that would be a US one. Interesting. That vinyl channel, I picked up a Fozzy Audio BT20AS amplifier for a satellite turntable that sits far away from my main turntable and larger amp. Sounds remarkably good. 100 watts per channel. I'm going to be reviewing an amp here shortly, a pocket amp, in the coming couple of weeks. And I need some passive speakers to drive it. It's 300 watt per channel too. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know if it was a wise idea. I got to figure out how to make a show because all my speakers are powered. I don't use passive speakers. Katie says support from Visalia, California. Thank you for being there. I have one of my grains, Alice in Chains. This record I got, Chris, is such a grail. I'm going to maybe play it once, and then it's being framed and put on the wall. I've never done that with a record, but I'm going to go to Best Buy or a Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to buy a frame, and I'm going to frame this thing. I'm going to keep it out of direct sunlight. I'm just going to have it on the wall. So most I've ever paid for a 7-inch record. It wasn't disgustingly expensive, but it was significant, and it was just kind of hard to find. This particular one. It's got a story, and I can't wait to share it with you. STB World, I have a lost Daniel Radcliffe interview. It was sold to me as a blank digital audio tape. That reminds me, I bought a 10-inch tape reel with a large hub for $1. I didn't even have a player that could play that. And I'm like, I hope it's not 15 inches per second because my tape deck maxed out at 7.5. So I spooled it onto, I made a video. I made a Franken deck is what I called it. I took a turntable on a side and I sideways fed the tape onto a 7-inch take-up reel so I could play the beginning of it just to find out what was on it. And it was an interview that apparently doesn't exist anywhere else. I've contacted the museum. It's the guy, I got to tell you his name after that build-up. They did the voiceover to Christmas Story. It's also the voice of the dad in this ride at Disney. It's like a very, not Pete Billingsley. Who is it? Maybe Gene Shepard. Yeah, it was Gene Shepard. Anyway, let me pull this back up here. Yeah, Gene Shepard. And it was a speech he was giving, I think, in the late 70s, early 80s up in Boulder. And it was like 3.5 inches per second. So 3 3/4 inches per second. I sent the reel to my friend, and he took it and digitized it. And then he spooled it onto 2 7-inch reels for me so I could have it. And then he kept the metal 10-inch reel for the deck that he got. So yeah, it's fun when you find something rare like that. It's super cool. I have a Rolling Stones Sticky Fingers with zipper intact. Soundboard, that's cool, by the way, that you found that. Favorite vinyls from Goodwill are probably the Muppet movie and a weird German version of Back. That's cool. Back to the Future in German. That's cool. Steve says my Emotiva amp has 300 watts per channel, driving some Klipsch RF7s. I bet that's powerful. Hello there. I love your channel. One of the best channels for vinyl ever. Great videos, man. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you being there. Played it, and it's the master tapes. Wow, that's so cool. No Hobby Lobby, run by... That's your opinion. Love the channel and your reviews. I'm getting back into vinyl and eyeing the LP3. That's a great turntable. I love that thing. I have to say, I do kind of miss it. I do kind of miss it, absolutely. Gene Shepard. Yeah, you got it before I could find it. Do you currently own 180 gram records? Yes, I do. I can't even name them. I've got a bunch. I mean, there's 180 grams all over the place here. Most of the Beatles, new vinyl is 180 gram. The Beatles box set is also 180 gram. Let's see where we're at here. Do you think it would be cool if you would like to get Michael Jackson's Thriller on open reel? I would love that. I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. A cassette deck that was made in Sony's West Coast studio. It sounds amazing. It's a promo. That's cool. Open reel-to-reel. Yeah, I would love to. I've got my reel-to-reel deck down here. Won an auction for 48 records. I'm incredibly worried of them getting destroyed in the mail. Have you had a bad ship? Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. I've got a friend. Excuse me. I wipe my nose. I don't like doing it on camera. I've got a friend who bought a V-disc, and most V-discs, depending on, because they were produced by Columbia and RCA and others, were vinyl, like an early vinyl, so they're more durable in shipping. But the one he got was actually a shellac one, and it cracked in shipping. It happens all the time. I've had that happen. It's not fun. Do you have any albums you regret buying in your collection? Not really. No. There's some that I would thin out my collection and be like, I probably don't need this. Or I've bought a couple copies of something because I either forgot I had it. And I would never do that with an expensive record. I would know if I had it or not. But like, if I'm buying like an old Glenn Miller record for like $2-3, sometimes I'll pick up a second one, but then I just pass it along to somebody. Okay, let's do this giveaway. It's giveaway time. 41 minutes in, it's time to do the giveaway. What do you think of the PL12D? I'm not sure about that one. I don't know if I've seen that. An Iowa reel-to-reel for my stepdad. That's cool. I love Iowa stuff. What's your favorite box set style-wise? Mine's Smashing Pumpkins, Airplanes Fly. I don't have a lot of boxes that are new. I've got the new Beatles box set, the Red and Blue album box set. I've got a lot of old Reader's Digest box sets. Here's the Beatles one. It's cool. Some people thought they cheaped out on the packaging. I mean, I thought it was cool. This is the one from the Beatles store with the 180 gram colored discs. It's an expensive record set, though. Holy moly. I love how the gatefold picture is tinted blue on the blue album and then red on the red album. Extra record, by the way. New mixes. By the way, here's a look at that gorgeous vinyl. Isn't that pretty? Love it. I had no problem that they were remixing it, but I did come across one I didn't like the mix on as much, and I forget which one it was exactly, but was it Day in the Life? I'm not sure what song it was exactly, but it de-emphasized some of the sound effects that I really enjoy in this. No, it wasn't that. It was something off of Let It Be. It was, hold on, I could probably find it on here. I think it's Don't Let Me Down. I didn't like the mix on it because they took the Billy Preston organ, which is my favorite part about those songs, and they really put it deep in the mix, and you can't even hardly hear it. And it's a bummer because that song, Billy Preston is doing it's a call and answer with the lead guitar, so it's good to hear it go forward and then come back. And they took it so deep down in the mix. Most everything else, I think they sounds fine, but. I know. I get caught up in the comments and they keep rolling in. I don't want to miss any. I've ordered vinyl records in the mail and I haven't had that issue with anyone getting damaged. That's good. Record 78 box sets in good condition. Yeah, I love 78 box sets. Reel to reel is an Akai 3000 DX Crossfield. That's cool. I have the Garth Brooks vinyl box set that came out a while ago. Garth Brooks vinyl box, or any kind of box set of Garth, is cool. Usually available at Walmart. Doesn't believe in streaming, so you got to buy the physical stuff. I have an Akai 1800 SS quad reel to reel. I reviewed one of those or something very similar. I think it was a beast. A lot of Beatles stuff is priced pretty high. It really is. You've seen Techmon's video with that Wheel 2 record. Yeah, I have. And I've seen those before, that style. And I don't know. It does look cool. He likes a sleek, minimalistic design. I like knobs and switches more so than a minimalist design. But it was cool. I was thinking it'd be really hard to measure the tracking force because it's like pushing up from the underside. Garth Brooks vinyl box set from Dollar General. Wow, that's cool. The blue and red albums from the 70s. Yeah, I've got some poor condition, relatively original red and blue. I'm the Walrus. Great song. Yeah. Chris, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I really appreciate it. That's really nice of you. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Chris, for being there. Jared says, I'm on a CD craze right now. I'm finding many of the original CD releases sound superior to remasters and replacing my Rush and Genesis remasters with the original versions. That's cool. How do you sign up for the giveaway? Just stay tuned. Hopefully next month I'll be able to send a Carly Simon 7-inch. That's cool. I honestly prefer the Revolver to Rubber Soul era of the Beatles. I think they're overrated, and there are many other artists better and deserve extra hype. My interest in the Beatles sometimes I like the older stuff and the newer stuff. It just depends. Reese's mug, heck yes. This is like one of those things that came with like a cookie kit or something in it. Yeah, it's good. And it's just water. Red Album on cassette. That's awesome. As an import, that's really cool. Is there an album that's on your In Search Of list? Not a new album as much. I do want the new Patsy Cline Greatest Hits on the pink vinyl. There's a whole new redesign. I have enough copies. I don't need it. But if I came across it, and I would probably want to get it. But my Grail records right now are Patsy Cline 78s. Anything with a Coral label, stay tuned for more on that. One pure gold CD of Moonlight Sonata. Yeah, I've got a gold CD. We did a show on gold CDs. Michael says my turntable's an ELAC microcord made in 67. That's awesome. Okay, that's it. We're doing it. 50 people in the house. Somebody just dropped off. 49 people in the house. We are doing the giveaway. So here's how it's going to work. And then I'm going to come back to the comments. No comments. Please do comment. I want you to comment. But I'm going to respond to the comments when I get done with the giveaway. And then we'll wrap it up. And I just want to thank you guys for being there. So here's how it works. Pay attention, please. Because the number one thing is don't put your answer in the chat. That would ruin it for everybody else because the chat delays. And I found this out the hard way. If you use the chat, you may get the chat in a different order than I do or somebody else on the other side of the world does because, it's getting to people in different millisecond differences. And so the order in which those messages are showing up for you right now may be different for me or this next person. Second of all, want to make sure that everybody has a fair chance at it. So we don't want to give away the answer. So don't put the answer in the chat. Don't put the answer in the chat. How do you enter? It's very simple. You just send me an email. Send me an email. You can even type it up right now. Don't hit send yet. But the way to enter is by emailing us the answer. Record-ology1938@gmail.com. Record-ology1938@gmail.com. Don't put the answer in the comments, please, or in the chat. Don't put them in the comments. Don't put them in the chat. Only email your answer. Don't forget to include your name and your address, okay? It has to be in there. If you get the right answer but don't include the name and address, it's not a valid entry, okay? And if the address is right and the answer isn't right, also not a valid entry. You got to have both. That would be helpful. You must be 18 years of age or older. 18 years of age or older. You must be in the United States. And sometimes we do non-US giveaways. This one is such a big box. It would just be cost prohibitive to send it across the border. So this has to go within the United States. So if you're in the United States or U.S. territory, you're open to enter. I wish I could do it for everybody. Some stuff we do globally, but this one is just too expensive. Now, not a hard requirement, but a request. If you've already won something, maybe let somebody else enter this one. There's some people that that have a tendency to answer right very quickly and often, and they win prizes. But I want it to go to people that maybe haven't won something before. So my request is let somebody else win this one. And what we're going to do is a question. I'm going to ask you the question, and the answer to the question sent to me via email, Record-ology1938@gmail.com is how you enter. And I'm going to get my email pulled up, and I'm going to give the first person that gets the question answered correctly is going to win. Now, it's important that you also know this is an unofficial giveaway. This is not sponsored, endorsed in any way by Google, aka YouTube. This is purely a personal thing I'm doing, and it is an as-is used device. It was new and opened once, demoed, put back in the box, but technically it's been used. It has no warranty. It comes with no replacement. It comes with no service. If it shows up in a million pieces, I apologize, but that's the luck of the draw. If it gets damaged or lost in shipping, there won't be an exchange or a replacement. It just is the way it is. It is a best effort giveaway. We understand all of that stuff, and I encourage you and hope you'll win. Absolutely. And I'm excited for somebody to get this turntable. It's a good one. So what are we giving away? It's the HYM Lumi turntable that we just reviewed. It plays two speeds, 33 and 45, not 78. It is the walnut edition. It's got the beautiful underglow light, smoke dust cover. It's got an Audio-Technica moving magnetic 3600 cartridge. It's an all-in-one system. It's got a built-in speaker system, a bass reflex on the bottom, active. It's actually a carbon fiber, which I was surprised. Two stereo speakers on the front. It's got a line output connection. It is made out of wood fiberboard materials and other materials. And it has Bluetooth receiving, so you can, because I think it does. Pretty sure it's Bluetooth receiving, so you can hook up your phone to it, use it as a Bluetooth speaker. It looks gorgeous. It sounds warm and loud. My only gripe of the sound was it lacking in the high end a little bit, but it had a very good warm tonality. But you can hook it up to other speakers too. And the underglow from the light is absolutely beautiful. It's got a tri-point suspension system, so it's very well sound damped. It's got silicone feet that are very spongy. It's very kind of mid-century modern styling, and it's just a really, really good one. Interesting, on their website, they say it comes with a Jasmine M1 moving magnet phono cartridge, but it really came with an Audio-Technica 3600L. I wonder if that's regionally based or that's just another branding of the same thing. There's companies that take the 3600L and brand it as other stuff. This one comes with that 3600L, 95 decibel digital signal to noise ratio, 75 decibel for vinyl. It has Bluetooth. I'm not sure the codec, 18 millimeter overhang. It's a beautiful, beautiful turntable. It would be fantastic for a beginner, for somebody that wants something for the bedroom and a second system, something that's compact and just doesn't want to have, a million, cables and extra things. It's an all-in-one solution. It won't damage your records. It looks cool. It sounds great. It's got a built-in preamp. In fact, it's non-switchable, so the output is only line level. And same thing with the built-in speakers are bypassable, so you can just connect it straight up to your system, and you've got a moving magnet. It's got a nice metal. No, it doesn't have a metal platter. It's got a MDF platter with a laminate. Very cool. Good bearing. Very minimal platter wobble. The gimbal was good. Everything. It just checked all the boxes. Again, if you want to see the show, listen to a sound sample, you can do that. It does kind of match my shirt, this cup. I love orange. It's my favorite color. My parents were recently here, and I learned that my grandma's favorite color was orange. Okay, so Record-ology1938@gmail.com. Please don't put the answer in the chat. Please don't put the answer in the chat. Don't forget your address. Don't forget your name. Don't forget the correct answer. Here we go. The question, again, US only because we're not shipping overseas. The question is, the first person that gets this right and emails it wins, okay? And the question is, what is the name of the first song ever recorded? What is commonly considered the first song ever recorded? And bonus points, if somebody gets the bonus and the original question right, I may throw in a little, I haven't packed up the box yet, so I may throw in a little something special if you get the bonus. Who sang the song? First song ever recorded, and who sang that song? Record-ology 1938 at gmail.com. Don't put it in the chat. Send me an email with your answer, and you can win this beautiful HYM Lumi turntable with an MSRP of $500 on sale for $399.20 right now. Personally, I think that's a bit overpriced. I think this is more like a $199, $175 turntable. Nothing wrong with it, but that's just my opinion anyway. It's a beast. It's hefty. It's gorgeous, though. It's really, really cool. It's unlike a lot of what else is out there. You don't have the same mechanism as a lot of stuff. It sounds good. It sounds warm. We do have giveaways for international viewers. This one is such a big, heavy box that it's just too expensive to ship out of the country. So stay tuned for more. We do giveaways all the time. We haven't done them as much lately, which is why we wanted to get started doing this again, because we have a lot of things we'd love to give away. And we do sponsorship giveaways where a company will sponsor giveaways and give us products specifically to give away. This one is just a product sample. So I own it, but I'm just giving it away because it belongs in somebody else's hands. All right. Do we have answers are flowing into the email? Let's see. We're going to start the first one that comes in. And the reason why I do the email is, like I said, emails come in one order and one order only, whereas the chat is all jumbled up depending on where you're at, geographically, data connections. It just depends. So I don't want to have that left to chance. All right, we're going to start with the first answer. Let's see. Wait. Okay, the very first response. The very first response is from an international viewer who says knows he can't participate, but guessed correctly. But I'm not going to say what that is yet. Next answer. Incorrect answer. An incorrect answer on this one. Okay, we have a correct answer. Let me make sure. Double checking. Okay. We have a name. We have an address. They're in the United States. And they guessed correctly. The correct answer is Mary Had a Little Lamb. Mary Had a Little Lamb, sung by, they didn't get the bonus. I might throw in a little bonus anyway, but I'll throw in something extra. But the winning answer is Mary Had a Little Lamb, sung by Thomas Edison himself. That's right. Thomas Alva Edison singing Mary Had a Little Lamb. And you can hear that record. It's very rough. It's barely understandable. And this is generally considered to be the first song recorded. Obviously, it was a test recording. It wasn't a studio recording. And so the winner is, everybody's like, great, but who won? The winner is Troy in Kentucky. You win, Troy in Kentucky. You are receiving the HYM Lumi. And I am so glad for you because it's going to ship out to you this week. Should be shipped out this week. And we'll get it over to you as soon as possible. Doesn't have too far to go to Kentucky, so hopefully it gets there in one piece. It's packed very, very well. Transport screw has been screwed down into that. So I'm going to do my very best to make sure that you get it there. So good job and congratulations. And I'm very, very thankful for everybody being out there. And you guys are just awesome. You guys are absolutely awesome. And I appreciate every one of you. Troy, Hope you enjoy it, and it's a cool unit. I think it's cool, and I'm glad it's going to somebody who hasn't won something before here, I believe. So that's really, really good. Awesome. Let's get caught up on comments. Jesus, welcome from Puerto Rico. Glad you're here. And we'll do more giveaways, yes, and international ones as well. What's the rarest record I have, says STP World. That's a good question. I mean, rare, I've got one of one records that are just like personal recordings. So from the standpoint of, nobody else has a copy, I can find you a very rare one of one right now. Let's see. I will find you a record that nobody else in the world has. If I can actually find it. Oh, man, my 45s. Oh, brother. Come on. I can't help but find them until I need to find them. Let's see. When I don't want to find them, they're all over the place. I need to reorganize my 45s. Okay, here we go. This is a one of one. Nobody in the world except me has this record. This is a Voiceograph record. This was, as you can see, it's cracked a little bit. It's paper. It's just paper stock, like cardboard kind of. And it's a thin layer of something on the top. It smells like a magic marker. As it decays, they have a tendency. It's like a lacquer, I think. I think it's a lacquer-coated paper disc. And this was like a greeting card. You could see it. It's got the to and from. May 6, 1945. Automatic voice recorder. So this could be either something at home that they would sit down and use, or it could be a kiosk. There was like phone booth looking things where you could pop in and record a record. And that would be, a one of one. So from a standpoint of rarity, those would be the one of one. Got some cool stuff I need to show that I haven't even shown before. Like, I love clear, clear flexi discs. Those are cool. Got a lot. It's been a long time since I did flexi discs. Here's a record I never remember I have. It's a Peter Pan peanut butter brings you your Davy Crockett record. Walt Disney's Green Grow the Lilacs, the Sandpipers, Mitch Miller and his orchestra. Mitch Miller was all over kids' records and promotional records before he started doing the sing-along records later on in the 60s. But yeah, we need to be doing a show about that record. I come across stuff like that all the time. Like, dang it, I forgot I have that. Anyway, so yeah, Voiceograph records. I have a bunch of stuff like that. That's like, from a rarity standpoint, very rare. From a dollar standpoint, not that valuable. A buck or two or five. But, from a rarity standpoint. Now, from a dollar value standpoint, it's kind of, that Beatles box set probably has the, highest value that I could just go sell a record for today, of anything. I've got some records I've paid, some money for, nothing over 100 really, for a single disc. And that's maybe one or two at that much, but it's tough. It's kind of eye of the beholder kind of thing. So Ren says, Eau Claire de Lune was recorded 17 years before the Edison recorded Mary Had a Little Lamb. And so I said, commonly thought to be, because that is the generally accepted answer, is that it was Mary Had a Little Lamb. There were recordings done on glass smoked cylinders and things that predate. But in terms of a song being recorded, that was really 17 years. That's I'm going to have to look into that. So there's always future giveaways, though. So I appreciate everybody participating. And we had a lot of people that had that same answer. So it's generally thought to be the right the right thing. Let's see here. Yeah, you betcha. I'm happy to do the giveaways. I want to do more. We need to do more. There will be more. Oh, STP World, I got you. That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, we'll give away more. We got a lot more to give away. Lyra Fox, I have a Technics SL 1900. Excellent. Tape and CD. Yeah, I don't have, I have all the Beatles like albums now, but they're like half of them are on CD and half of them are on vinyl. Found this old floppy one-sided 7-inch 33 RPM record. Wow, that's cool. They are, because the kids trashed them. So finding a good condition one was tough. I have a few cereal box records. I have some Alf ones from Burger King and some similar ones, Archie, stuff like that. I do. Oh, you have some. Oh, really? Some Mickey Mouse stuff. That's cool. I have some old Mickey Mouse stuff too on like red vinyl. It's cool. Really, 66 songs on a 45. That's interesting. What are the gas prices like down in Florida? I am not sure. I just buy the cheapest one I can find. I don't even know what they're at. Too expensive. Do you have any plans to make a video about video disc? It was technically video on vinyl, right? Yeah, if it came into my possession, it would make for a fun show. There's some great videos already out there about it, but yeah, it's a cool format. Just a guy says, "Well, I'm very new to records. I got a starter turntable with all the Victrola turntable and some Metallica records." Awesome. Glad you're enjoying it. That's cool. And welcome to the hobby, by the way. Got a Rockfire Explosion 45. Oh, that's cool. But now I've got an Audio Technica turntable. Yeah, and that'll be a big step up. Wendy 707. Sorry, next time. All right, my friends. Yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't sweat it. On the giveaway, we'll do more. To Troy, congratulations. And just want you to know that I appreciate you. And I'm thankful for you being there and really, really appreciate it. So everybody take care. Have a great rest of the weekend and an awesome week ahead. God bless you. And we see you next time. Have fun, guys. Thank you.